Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the Fidelity Rewards Visa Signature Card. Now I think this is a fantastic credit card and it's really a no-nonsense credit card. So with this card, there's no complicated rotating categories or multipliers depending on where you use your credit card. This one is just a simple, flat 2% cashback on everything. Now when it comes to flat cashback rewards cards, 2% is realistically the best you're going to get. The industry standard is a little closer to 1.5%, maybe something like the Chase Freedom Unlimited or the Capital One Quicksilver card. All of these cards have a 1.5 multiplier. So a 2 multiplier is about best in class for universal spending. Now there are a couple of other credit cards that also offer 2% cashback on everything. And if you discount the smaller credit unions, that you have to be a member of those credit unions to apply for their credit cards. If you're only looking at the major card issuers, then realistically you have 3 choices. You have this Fidelity card, there's the Citibank Double Cash card, as well as the PayPal Cashback MasterCard. So it doesn't really make sense to do a review of the Fidelity card without mentioning these other 2 cards that offer the same 2% cashback, because realistically, those are going to be the 2 big competitors. Hi everyone, my name is Ben, and this channel is dedicated to all things credit related, helping you improve your credit score and finding the perfect credit cards for you. Now personally, out of the 3 credit cards that offer the flat 2% cashback, I tend to lean a little bit towards the Fidelity credit card, but it really just depends on your individual circumstances and your needs. In my mind, there's no clear-cut defined winner where, universally this one credit card is going to be better than the other 2. So let's take a look and see what all 3 of these cards have to offer. So first and foremost, before we even talk about which one's better, realistically, you have to be able to get accepted for this credit card. So right off the bat, if we're talking about the Fidelity Rewards credit card, you need to have a Fidelity brokerage account in order to apply for it. If we're talking about the PayPal MasterCard, then you need to have a PayPal account. The only one that anyone can just universally apply for is going to be that Citibank Double Cash card. You do not need an existing relationship with Citibank in order to apply for this card. And as far as credit scores are concerned, well, when you're applying for a credit card, there's more that goes into it than strictly just your credit score when it comes to getting approved for these cards. Things like your overall income levels, etc. But it's recommended for the PayPal card, you have about a 690 credit score or better. The Fidelity card needs, give or take, about a 720. And the Citibank Double Cash needs a massive 760 credit score on average to get accepted for this card. Now, when I think about a 760 credit score credit card, I think of the really top-tier premium credit cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the American Express Platinum, etc. I don't really see the Citibank Double Cash card being in that elite group of credit cards. So I think that 760 is very bloated and overrated. I think they need to lower that credit score to be more competitive with these other 2 cards. But if you've already got the 760 credit score, then fantastic. That shouldn't be an issue for you. Now, currently, none of these credit cards have a sign-up bonus. Historically, the Fidelity Rewards card has, at times, offered special introductory offers, maybe a $100 sign-up or a $150 sign-up. But at the time of this recording, none of these cards have an initial sign-up bonus. And as far as an introductory 0% APR period goes, the Citibank Double Cash card does offer 18 months of 0% APR. And typically I never recommend carrying forward a balance, but with coronavirus going around, everybody's financially struggling, so a 0% APR credit card might be able to get you through these tough times and give you that 18 months to get back on your feet. So why do I lean a little bit more towards the Fidelity credit card as opposed to some of these other credit cards? Well, the first thing is all of your cashback, all of your points are going to be redeemed into a Fidelity brokerage account that you've already set up. So you can put these points towards most any sort of brokerage account thing that you've got set up. Maybe it's an IRA, an HSA, maybe your 529 college savings plan for your kids, whatever kind of system, an account that you're trying to get this stuff invested in through Fidelity, it's probably going to qualify. And since all of these points are going to be invested back into your Fidelity brokerage account where these cashback rewards are going to be invested and grow and compound over time, eventually these cashback rewards can start to add up to a relatively significant amount of money. So everybody's spending habits are going to be different, but if we just assume maybe a hypothetical $1,500 a month that you and your family put on this credit card, that's going to be about $18,000 per year. And at 2% cash back, that comes out to $360 per year. Now, $360 a year may not sound like a ton of money, and it's not, but if this is going to be invested and grow and compound, then over time, it can grow into a somewhat meaningful amount of money. So hypothetically, let's say that you get this card when you are 30 years old and you use it for the next 35 years until you are 65 and ready to retire. If you invest this $360 cash back into your Fidelity brokerage and it grows at a 10% rate of return, then when you retire, you're going to have roughly $100,000 in your retirement account. Maybe you put this into something like a Roth IRA and it's going to be completely tax-free in retirement. Now, $100,000, if we follow the standard 4% safe withdrawal rate in retirement, that means that you could withdraw an extra $4,000 a year to live off of during retirement. Now, $4,000 a year isn't going to be game-changing amounts of money. You're not going to suddenly be buying a yacht and sailing the Caribbean, but it's going to give you a nice little buffer when it comes to retirement. Like, I don't see the Citibank or the PayPal credit card offering you the equivalent of $4,000 a year in retirement. And as I mentioned, $4,000 a year is not going to provide 100% of what you need in retirement. You're probably going to have to still stick some money away regardless. But this is a fantastic option for those people that aren't very good with their finances and they don't naturally invest a lot of money. This is sort of an automatic forced retirement account that you're setting up by using this credit card. But if you're a little bit better with your finances, then obviously you can still contribute significantly more. As I mentioned, this $360 a year, this is not going to max out any sort of account, even smaller ones like an HSA account. In 2020, IRA accounts have a contribution cap of around $6,000. So you have more than enough room to still contribute on your own for retirement if you're interested in it. But obviously this is going to be a nice forced savings account for you with this 2% cash back. Now, the downside to this is obviously you need a Fidelity brokerage account in order to get these rewards. Now, that may or may not be a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with Fidelity. They are one option out of many. But if you already have a brokerage account with somebody else, maybe Vanguard, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, or some of the online app type brokerage accounts now, Robinhood, M1 Finance, or Webull. If you already have one of these brokerage accounts and you're happy with them, then you may not want to open up a second brokerage account with Fidelity just so that you can get this credit card. And while I think the forced savings aspect of the Fidelity card is a fantastic thing, I think every single person needs to set up some sort of automated investing plan for their future. But some people really just need that cash back today. So if you're struggling financially and you just absolutely need every little penny, nickel, and dime that you can find, then squirreling this money away for the long run may not be the best option for you if you need this money today. So in cases like that, something like the Citibank card or the PayPal card where you have access to your money immediately and you can just spend it or put it towards your credit statement might be a little bit better. Now, one of the downsides with the Fidelity card is you basically have to rack up $50 worth of cash rewards before any of this money will transfer into your brokerage account. So racking up $50 in spend, that's basically the equivalent of spending $2,500 on your credit card before you get enough points for $50 into your account. And that's a really high redemption rate. Most credit card companies aren't anywhere near that, and that's one of the major downsides for this Fidelity card. With the Citibank Double Cash card, you can start redeeming once you hit $25 in your account, so half of what the Fidelity card is. And the PayPal card is really convenient because there is no minimum in order to redeem these points. So if you have $1.27 worth of cashback rewards, then you can redeem your $1.27 into your PayPal account and then transfer it over to your checking account or whatever you need to do with that money. So in that regards, the PayPal credit card is super convenient because you have access to your money literally whenever you want it, as opposed to racking up either $25 or a whopping $50 in cashback rewards with some of these other cards. And the last reason that I really like this Fidelity credit card is that they are very generous when it comes to their credit limits that they're going to give out. Now, I do not have the PayPal Cashback MasterCard. I don't have that credit card. I've already got the Citibank Double Cash and the Fidelity card. So I've already got 2 cashback credit cards that are the 2%. There was no point in me getting a third. That just seemed overly redundant. But the Fidelity credit card gave me a pretty massive $24,000 credit limit, whereas the Citibank Double Cash, I believe it's only about $5,500. So it's about 4 or 5 times higher credit limit with the Fidelity credit card as opposed to the Citibank Double Cash. And having this really high credit limit, well, maybe you don't need it. You're probably not going to put, $20,000 worth of bills on a credit card in any particular month, but you have the option to. In addition, the higher credit limit is going to dramatically affect your credit score through the credit utilization rate. So 30% of your credit score, it's actually the second biggest category that determines your overall credit score, is going to be your credit utilization rate. So, and that's a ratio of how much money you have used on the credit card versus how much money you have available on the credit card. So the lower that rate, that utilization rate, the better. And one way to lower that utilization rate is just to simply have a higher credit limit available. Because if you have a $10,000 credit limit and you spend $10,000, then you used 100% of your credit limit, and that's going to be bad. But if you had a $24,000 credit limit and you put this $10,000 on there, instead of 100%, now you're looking at, I don't know what the math is, 40% maybe roughly credit. And so that's going to dramatically help your credit score as opposed to this other card that would have had a 100% utilization rate. In addition, with the PayPal credit card, since you need a PayPal account, it's sort of one extra step, unless you're actually paying people out of PayPal, but I don't. I just use my bank account for everything, so it's sort of an extra step to move money into my PayPal account and then transfer that money out into my bank account. And the last thing worth mentioning is the Citibank Double Cash card isn't technically a 2% back credit card. It's really 1% back when you purchase the item, and then a second 1% back when you actually pay off your credit card statement. So most of the time it's going to function effectively like a 2% cashback card, but not always. So let's say, for example, if you put $100 on your credit card bill for this particular month, and you already had $20 worth of points racked up and saved, then when you spent that $100, you would get 1% cash back. And if you were to use that $20 of points to lower your monthly statement for that month, now you would only owe 80 instead of 100. So you're only going to get that second 1% cash back on the 80 as opposed to the 100. So it's not quite going to come out to a 2% credit card if you're redeeming for statement credit. So given the options with the significantly higher credit limit and the fact that this money is going to be automatically invested for me and grow and compound, I tend to like the Fidelity Visa Signature credit card more than the others. But like I said, that does mean that you're going to have a Fidelity brokerage account. And since it has a high redemption rate of that $50, realistically you need to have this as a card that you're going to use and use often, one of your primary cards. Because if you don't, if you only put a couple of purchases on it and you get bored with this card and move on to something else, then you're not going to have racked up enough points to redeem this for credit into your Fidelity account. So that's going to do it for us today, folks. If you found this video useful, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. And as always, I'll see you all again next time. Thanks.